from the very first couple of weeks of Jackson interacting, not only with Prisma, but with Coach James, you could just see that Jackson felt like he mattered.
The way that she's able to sort of give those individual students the individual attention they need while not neglecting the needs of the whole group, that is the difference that I notice, I feel. Felix feels seen, he feels heard, he feels respected.
I always explain coaching as I'm your number one fan, your cheerleader, and your coach. And I'm there to help motivate you no matter what's going on. And I'm there to also make sure that they're doing the absolute best they can, which is what the job of a coach is.
Having that moment in which we can just connect and have our one-on-one meetings.
Catching up on some of the goals that I've been setting for myself.
I thought I knew my students really well in public school, but once I got to Prisma, the relationships really just became so much more elevated. I spend a lot of time in one-on-ones, really just hanging out with my learners, or in Hayden's case, we get off track all the time, but that's part of relationship building. This is Hayden's first year at Prisma, and you would never know it because I feel like I have known you, Hayden, for much longer than how long you've been with me this year.
The connections that I have with my learners now, I think, go much deeper than they did in the classroom.
You do know me very well.
George has been with me for 3 years now, so I have seen her grow not only academically, but also as a human, right?
Sometimes I'll be offering help to my son, and then he will just say, no, I'm just going to wait for James. It's really beautiful to see that they have that relationship.
We were meeting with Natalie before even the school year began. From the get-go, it didn't feel like, okay, we're just checking a box, but rather like we're going on this journey together. And it was great that we're on the same page. And I always feel like with Natalie, it is a partnership.
Our goal for learners is never just academic. I think we care about like whole person. We've had those conversations of like, okay, here's an area of growth that we're all seeing now together, and how can we all work together to see that through for Felix and help him and support him and make sure he knows that he's loved, not just by his parents, but by his coach and his cohort.
Kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So once you show them how much you care, then they care about your feedback as well.
They have to solve real world problems, and they get feedback from us coaches. And then they review our feedback, they make revisions, and then we check their work again. So it's kind of like a process that goes both ways.
If I need help with Gwen, like I turned it in and she's like, oh, this is something that like needs a little bit more help. And then if I still don't get it, then Gwen's really helpful. And it feels like I'm being a lot more like supported in my schoolwork.
I like how Camille gives feedback in a way that it more helps me along what I should be doing instead of just telling me exactly what I should do.
Yeah, and Ollie knows that he gets a lot of little revisions because he can do it. So, I mean, I've told you, right? I hope you know, right, that it comes from, I know you can accomplish like awesome things. And he always figures it out and like creates work that's beyond what I was like even thinking.
In both of our kids, we have seen such a huge shift in their confidence level and their ability to self-advocate, their ability to plan ahead, stuff that we've struggled with for years in traditional school setting as well as like a Montessori school setting where it's more child driven.
And sometimes it's not easy to see it within like 2 or 3 months, but after 3 years together, you do see the difference. I'm proud of you, George. I know you know that, but I really am.
Since we both live in Puerto Rico, we've met up actually a couple times. So that was fun.
We were so excited to just do the project together.
We were given the opportunity to go to New York for our older child, and we made a connection with James to where they could meet up at the airport on the day that James was leaving. Jax was coming in, and they got to meet up for just a brief period. And I didn't get to be there, but I saw the pictures from my husband and my 2 older kids, and I could just see Jackson, like, I'm gonna cry right now. Like, he was so excited and so happy. Oh, and I think James even changed his flight schedule. Like,
I did have to change my flight. Yeah.
I like, that blows my mind. That has been really life-changing, not just for Jackson, but for our family to see that that's possible.